It thinks it's going. We gotta upload them out. It's not registering it over here yet, though, so hang tight. Okay, there it goes. Registering there. All right, all right. Okay.
Are we live?
We are.
We live?
We're nearly there. We're nearly there.
Nearly there.
All right, that's good to go. Oh, Facebook's like, you want to do a test broadcast? No, I want to broadcast now. Let me do it now, please. We're on YouTube, though. Hey, thanks for joining us here. Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo.
All right, I'm going to...
Yeah, Wesley's putting his headset on. He's worried he's going to have to fill again for another 5 minutes.
And just come up with riffs, so I don't... I don't have any bits that I can do between now and then while you figure out technical difficulties. Because,
Man, I need to hire a producer to do the technical stuff here.
Yeah,
I really do.
You really, yeah. So, what's the deal with horses? That's a bit. We can just do. I can just riff on that for a minute.
All right, here we go. Hold on. We're super professional here, by the way.
We're absolutely professionals. Actually, you are a professional. I think
I professional in name only.
Yeah. Can you drop my my headset a little bit?
Oh, are you dying there? You want it more? You want it more?
No, thank you. All right,
that's good.
Perfect. That's a nice calming voice in my ear. Oh wait, that's my voice.
That's pretty calming too.
Yeah, that's really funny that as soon as we start the mics, that's what fires up.
I love it. Oh, hey, there we go. There's Facebook. All right.
Facebook too?
Facebook. I think we're live.
Woo! Live from New York.
They don't have that in New York.
They don't.
They don't have that in New York.
That in New York. All right.
Oh boy. All right. We are good to go. And let's see. We're just making sure that's rolling. YouTube is trying to do its thing.
Trying.
Yeah, trying.
Just kidding, YouTube. Please don't demonetize me.
I believe that's. I believe. I believe that's Ethan Hunter. That is Ethan Hunter. Let's go, Ethan! Yeah! All right. Here we are rocking it. So we're going to roll a quick open here. I've got Wesley Kagan. We're doing a live recording of the podcast here at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. And it is busy down here now.
It is.
We've got I think right about as soon as the computer, here we go.
From Olympic City and the home of Pikes Peak, this is the Automotive ADHD Show with Matt West.
It helps when I turn on the microphone. And
no
we
microphones.
Are rocking it here on the Automotive ADHD Show, live from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. We're doing a live recording of the show right now, and this is such an exciting event going on right now, and it's really busy. There's tons of people out here really excited for hill climb season. Of course, Matt West here. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. Matt West here, talking cars with you. And I need to introduce my guest joining me right here. You've heard him on the show before. I think he's tussling up with Amir Bensatu for most number of reoccurring appearances on the show.
I do come around a little bit. I think the most important thing to remember about this entire thing is that we are both wearing sunglasses right now. That won't come over on the mics, and you won't really be able to pick it up. But the sunglasses really make this right now because we don't technically need them. It's kind of cloudy, but it does fit the vibe very well. I think that's important. But yes, I am Wesley Kagan. I do stuff That's the best way I can describe it at this moment. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and I do car stuff, and I'm here to talk cars. So,
well, there's a lot of car stuff to talk about. There's so much car stuff to talk about. Of course, we are broadcasting here from the Hemmings.com footprint, which this is really incredible. I'm so thankful for Hemmings for partnering up with us to do this show. They have a really tremendous Mustang. It's a Mach 1 back there. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And
it's a manual transmission, and I would like to take it home, but they won't let me because I have $103.
Yeah,
that's it, and that won't buy this car, unfortunately. I wish it did.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. Yeah. And if it did, I would have bid 104. I'd outbid you on it.
See, I think that's the problem. I think we just kind of explained how the car market works. Which I don't think you talk about the car market at all in your show. Is this a car show?
Yeah. Did you hear that? That right there. That was your answer. That was your answer.
There we go.
Yep. Man, yeah, no, it's really good, and
this is a great turnout down here. Like, we got a lot. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of people, and honestly, there's a lot of diversity of cars that I'm seeing walking around. Obviously, you got the Pikes Peak cars that are just everywhere. And I saw a Ford tent, which I have yet to go. Optimus here, might be able to win a battery, I think. I'm not actually completely sure. I don't know. I probably should have researched a little bit before I went live on the air and told everybody that you could win a battery. Maybe you can.
Well, that being said,
okay,
I am told that you can win a Hemmings prize pack.
Okay.
That is cool. So,
I didn't research that either.
Yeah, and that is cool. And we're going to have Brandon from Hemmings on to talk about that here a little bit. Hold on, I just got to let that. Woo! I love that. I love that.
That's pretty great. That sounds like a burlap bag full of Bobcats right there.
It's exactly what that is right there. So, of course, we are live from the Hemmings.com footprint.
Which he's repeating that so that we understand that there's a lot of background noise that's going on here. That's the important thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, man. See, I normally play car sounds on the show.
You don't need to.
I don't need to.
It's great.
I don't need to. But no, this is really fun. And now, Wesley, you were walking around a little bit more. I've been kind of tied to the tent here.
You
with
have
the setup,
not left
shaking
the tent.
hands.
We chained him to the desk.
Yep.
He has not left. When I say we, he has a crew of 30 that travels with him at all times. I want to be clear. I want to be clear for the viewers at home and the listeners at home that he travels like on one of those vintage carriages. They lift him up and carry him around. This is the kind of royalty that we're talking about here.
Precisely.
So,
and Wesley, he's staying at the 5-star Antlers Hotel penthouse suite. I mean, we really put him up here. That's why he's here.
He flew me in on a private jet and paid me very handsomely to be here. Yeah, and I did no research, and that's why I feel bad about it. And yeah, no, I think it's. Yeah, and I wanted to compliment you that you run a very good show. You run a very tight show, and this
be careful what you're saying.
No, this is fantastic.
This head, people say I've got a big head, like physically. It might get bigger. Could be dangerous.
You are wonderfully prepared at all times to do this show, and I am the most chaotic person you could have brought on because I can do a solid 45 minutes on anything. None of it's interesting. But I'm the kind of guy whose house would be on fire, and somebody would be like, "Hey, your house is on fire," and be like, "Let me finish this rant about the O.J. Simpson trial," and like, no. So I'm the worst person to have on this guest, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Well, and I think you're going to have to tussle up with Jim Miller for being the most chaotic. Jim Miller's pretty chaotic, too.
I actually don't think I can beat that.
You don't think you can beat Jim Miller?
I don't think I can beat that. I'm being 100% honest with you.
Jim Miller is going to join us here later on the show, though I hear he's gone out to find Hot Wheels cars.
That is correct. He is currently not with us. Not saying he's like not with us. Like we're not we're not weekend at Bernieing a guest on this podcast, but you know what I mean.
Right.
He hasn't.
He's looking for Hot Wheels and snacks.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
Shuffled off his mortal coil or something like that.
Right.
Cool.
Right. So we think. We hope at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hope at least. So now, Wesley, while you've been walking around, what have you been able to?
See, he's good. He's getting me back on topic.
What have? There was a topic. What have you been seeing? Because you've walked around here. I haven't. I've got a great view of everything around our tent. But you've been kind of perusing around. You did find drinks and snacks.
I did find drinks and snacks. You know, there is an entire street wrapped with a QR code 2 streets up. which is definitely an interesting thing. And there are
How do you scan that? Do you have to like do it from the building up top?
Only the Lord knows. I genuinely don't know. Yeah, no, it's really, really. But anyways, no, they and there's a bunch of very nice cars parked on that. I'm assuming they're a part of a car club or something. I don't know. I didn't look that closely at it. But there is a QR code on the ground. There's Chrysler vehicles here. There's Ford vehicles here. The brands, not just generally. And yeah, there's a very good diversity of tents and stuff going on here that is, if you're not here, you're missing out. That's all I'm going to say.
You're absolutely missing out. And if you're tuning into this on the live stream right now, you're missing out on some of those
starting behind me.
Oh, that's actually the Mustang. Here we go. We can maybe just that's kind of relaxing. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
No.
Ooh. I like it. I like it. Let's go. That's the best way to have my podcast and radio show interrupted.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
I would love it if he does that all the time. And I'm filming that right here on my phone, too. Here we go. Live on the air. I'm okay with being interrupted that way.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, that is a 428 car. My understanding is that it is completely original outside of the stuff that's not.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's pretty, it's a beauty, for sure.
Oh, man. I think that's tremendous. And you smell that. Smell it. Breathe in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Smell that carbon dioxide.
Those are some nice hydrocarbons that are going on there. Yeah,
I love it. I'm savoring that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good things that there's a couple of nice tents you can cruise around and take a look at down here. And obviously all the Pikes Peak Hill Climb cars are just incredible. I mean, it's really, really hard to not be really, really impressed with that.
Jim Miller has just handed me breaking news.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you breaking news.
Oh, boy. Jim Miller, just a guy, has joined us. We don't have a third microphone set up because I'm out of space here, but we're going to get him on in the next segment. But you should join us here if you're on the live stream. Pikes Peak International Hill Climb Fanfest brought to you by Gran Turismo. We are at the Hemmings.com footprint. I'm saying that so often so I don't forget where we are. I might forget where we are.
All right, I understand.
But we are going to we're going to jump to a quick break here, but you don't want to miss a minute of this show. This is awesome. And of course, you might be hearing this on the radio as well. Several great radio stations to catch it. AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer, 91.7 KLZR and AM 1400 KRLN. We'll be back after the break.
And now for how things work with an engineer.
Transmissions. Shift.
And that was how things work with an engineer. More of how things work can be found at facebook.com/automotiveadhd.
So we are now in the break. This is the cool thing. If you're joining us on the live stream, you get some of this. This is like extra material. Like this is like a bonus show that you're getting right here, right now, without having to do any work for it. So, and I'll unmute your mic now. There you go. Oh, no.
No. I want to be very clear that I am doing. I'm working. This is. You're paying me enough. It's okay. I'm fine with this.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll send you the invoice later. I'm actually charging you for this appearance.
Yeah, but we're deducting parking. I believe we decided that I'm going to fill out
$12.50.
Fill out a W-2 for $11.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I thought you were going to say something. That's why I was
looking at you like you were going to say something.
Right, yeah. No, I got all of my bits canceled, so I can. That's a weird sentence, just all in itself.
Did we cancel you? We canceled
Yeah.
you. We canceled
And
Wesley Kagan.
We canceled
breaking
Wesley
news.
Kagan. Honestly, yeah, that's our breaking news.
Breaking news. That's what it said on this bag that Jim
Yeah.
Miller brought me, was that Wesley Kagan is canceled.
Okay, yeah, it's like a little note that he pulled out.
Says it right here.
It's like, yeah.
I love this bag. It has words on it. Which is
I
good.
believe he actually said to find Hot Wheels, and there is no wheels,
And-
nor is there any hat.
Or M&Ms, but he has to pick all the green ones out.
Is that a green M&M's joke?
That is.
Can we say that on the radio?
We're not on the radio right
Oh,
now.
that's true.
We're not
All
on the
right,
radio.
yeah,
We're on
all
the
right.
live stream, though. We're on the live stream, and I'm cracking open a Red Bull. Not the green one, though.
The green one's the better one, though.
I know.
It's
I'll drink them
summer.
both. Yeah, I'm going to drink them
It's
both.
summer. It matches my shirt.
We got a long broadcast ahead of us here. I'm going to drink them
Yeah.
all.
All right.
But, yeah, we are here. You're joining us from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fan Fest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. We're underneath the Hemmings.com footprint. And this, of course, is the live stream of the show. We're recording the radio show live here. Kind of a weird way to say recording a radio show live.
And then not.
but
It's no, it's live to tape.
It's live to tape. It's
Yeah.
live to tape. Yeah.
No,
and
it's like how they filmed the Tonight Show. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
right. And this is
We're basically the Tonight Show if it came on tomorrow.
we're the Tonight Show, but tomorrow.
We're the Tomorrow Show. Oh no, that's already a
No,
thing.
that's a thing. Yeah, we can't use that.
Yesterday? No, that's
Yesterday
gotta be
show.
a thing. We're gonna
The 5 minutes from now show.
get, NBC's gonna send me a cease and desist.
That was commercial quality.
I was gonna say
There
they
it
better
is.
be paying you for that.
It's because I let the Red Bull guy into the event. That's
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
If you missed that on the stream, I was actually standing over there, and I've got this media badge on. So one of the Red Bull trucks and trailers came in to get into the event.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm with Red Bull. Can I check in with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. By the way, I don't work here, but I'll let you in." So as far as I know, he went in, and now the actual event organizers are wondering where the heck he is and why he's in without checking in with them.
Yeah.
But I got
it's
a Red Bull.
fine. Yeah.
I got a Red Bull out of it, so.
Yeah.
Hey, how's
How
it
you going?
going? Hey, doing great. Oh, what you gotta do, and we're live streaming, by the way, right now, and we appreciate you coming on here. Now, we've got some free stuff. If you come around to this side of the table, there's some free stuff with Hemmings right here. They've got some cool things, and this guy is your man.
I didn't know there was free stuff. Actually, I think I kind of.
Oh, no, everyone's been paying for these as they've been going. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, some guy came over here and charged me $30. I paid $30 for a sticker. What is this?
Oh, man. But anyway, let's. I'm going to get things rolling here for segment 2.
Okay.
Wesley,
Are you
I'm going to
kicking
kick
me
you out of
off?
this. I'm going to kick you off, and Jim Miller's been waiting patiently. He brought me drinks.
Yeah,
He brought me a bag.
Okay.
And he brought me this coffee shot
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
This is what counts for a coffee out here.
Yeah.
This.
All I brought was myself, and that's it. I didn't bring anything else.
You brought some Gucci sunglasses. That's it. No.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm giving you crap for your sunglasses.
No, that's justified. That's justified.
Oh, man. Well, you're tuning into the live stream of the recording of the radio show.
And I am getting kicked out.
Yep.
So I'm
And-
gonna
and he's getting kicked out.
awkwardly stand up and get
And
out of the
I'm-
decks.
I'm going to
Oh,
mute your
you-
mic, so if you knock it over, it's fine.
Live.
What? Oh, man, you're in for a treat here. This is a lot of fun, and of course, it's a beautiful day down here at the Hill Climb Fan Fest. Jim Miller is getting ready. He's coming out of the tent. He's coming out of his trailer from makeup. The green room. What? He's coming. I'll probably have you back on in a bit, but we're gonna have Jim on here, and then we're gonna hunt down Brandon.
I'll be gone like.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, take your time. All right. Of course, you are joining us here on the live stream of the recording of the radio show. I guess that's the moniker. That's what we're calling it. That's what we're going with. So anyway, We've got Jim Miller here. We're going to roll into our next segment. Oh, logo facing out on that one. Yep, logo, but the logo's facing in on that can. That's definitely not Red Bull. It's definitely not. So, all right, here we go, and we're going to roll the next intro on here. I'm pushing buttons live. All right, here we go. Right, you are joining us right here live from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. We are broadcasting from the Hemmings.com footprint. Of course, really thankful and excited to partner up with Hemmings for the show here. And they've brought some tremendous stuff. They've been great hosts, and they've got the this Mach 1 Mustang sitting over here. It is bringing, Jim, would you say this is bringing enough crowd to make it look like my show is popular?
It is definitely doing that, bringing forth the visual.
The visuals, yeah.
The illusion of popularity.
I'll take it. If it's a Mustang and that helps.
I've had 3 people go, "Wow, sir," and I'm like, I'm nobody. I'm just a guy over here.
Yeah. Here, let's bring that in a little closer for you. There you go.
Yeah.
Get real comfortable with the microphone there. So
Very
close that you
sensual.
have to be uncomfortable with the microphone.
There we go.
Wow.
Better?
That's perfect. Now, my guest joining me is Jim Miller, just a guy. Jim, I'm told you've ran for mayor and now you do some stuff on the radio. Is that correct?
I do, and I kind of blame you for that sometimes.
That's guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I, too, do stuff on the radio.
Yes.
For better or for worse, I don't know how I've convinced the fine folks at AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer, or the folks at AM 1400 KRLN or 91.7 KLZR. I don't know what I've done to convince them that they should run my show, but whatever it is, it's working, and I've got Jim Miller, just a guy here. Of course, you can hear him on Drive Time Radio here in Colorado Springs every, let's see, it's Monday through Thursday, and it's on the Peak News, and he does the Just a Guy rants. And Jim rants about all sorts of fun stuff. But we are here to talk about cars, of course, because we're at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest. Now, Jim, you were on a hunt earlier for snacks, trinkets, fun things. What did you find?
All right, I found lots of neato stuff. I found they have sunglasses. Look at this. You got some sunglasses. Those are for you.
I'll trade them out.
You didn't get to do stuff, so I went and grabbed a few things for you.
I've been chained to this table. Literally, I can't leave the table. So I'm relying on Jim and Wesley to help out there.
Me and Wes have actually journeyed through part of this together as just friends.
Just friends, okay.
I'm roaming around through it. I did pretty much most of the event in about 20 minutes.
Nice.
I found you a Hot Wheels.
All right.
Come down and get your Hot Wheels, the Car and Coffee booth down by Bijou and Tejon. They have the Car and Coffee guys giving out Hot Wheels to everybody.
I will
take it.
That is for you. That is beautiful.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find...
Hold on, Ford Escort RS 2000.
I couldn't find us any Krusty the Clown, Rusty A86s or anything, but I did find something from that era in time.
I will take it. That is good.
It's still Hot Wheels. Very good.
Still Hot Wheels. You brought me the FCP Euro sunglasses. I'm not sponsored by them, but we are sponsored by Hemmings for this event, by the way. Of course, Hemmings.com for everything Hemmings, which they have some great stuff. And coming up in a little bit, I'm going to have Brandon from Hemmings. He's going to be joining us. And Jim is wearing a Hemmings t-shirt, and they do some really great stuff. So I can't wait to share more with you about that coming up here in the next segment. Now, Jim, what else, walking around, this is, you would say you haven't been to this event in a few years, right? When was the last time you were here at the Hill Climb Fanfest?
Geez, 10 years ago, a long time ago.
Okay.
I remember it being bigger, honestly. I'll be straight. I remember it being bigger, but it probably wasn't. There was less people here then.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing a lot more cars. There's still a lot of cars, but it was a lot more just straight-up hill climb cars, if you will.
We have a lot of interesting cars here that aren't just hill climb cars, which is cool. I mean, obviously this Mach 1 that's sitting behind us here, that's one of them.
Yeah.
but we've also got, like, for example, just back behind us. Can they see it on the live stream?
Don't
No,
know.
they can't. No, they can't. Well, it's Ethan Hunter's Camaro back there. He is racing the hill climb. I also hear Jimmy Ford is somewhere around here, and of course we got some great coverage from Jimmy Ford. We're going to hear from him later on in the show. But Jim, what is your take, you know, coming back now to the Fanfest, coming back to the hill climb? You've lived here in Colorado Springs for a long time. What do you think of hill climb culture out here? Like, you kind of see it from afar, but it's something we don't have in many other places.
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty family oriented. It's pretty open to everybody. Bring the kids, come have some fun, hang out, get yourself a snack, something to drink. The Fan Fest part of it, it's a lot of fun. You can just come poke around. You can mosey around. You can go at your own pace. You still got all the dirt bike jumping stuff.
Yes, yeah, they've got dirt bikes doing tricks in the road. And yeah.
And it's very family orientated. If you do like to be an adult and have a drink, they got a spot for that. It's pretty well rounded for no matter what your shot of whiskey may or may not be, to come to the event and have some fun and just relax and enjoy it. Meet some of your neighbors that are also into cars and stuff. Let's not sugarcoat us car people. We're few and far between, right? We're the I'm into cars. The work away from work, the stress away from stress.
The work that never stops.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the great thing about events like this is that we get cars, we get interesting cars in front of the city, in front of the people who live here, in front of people who don't live here. People come from around the world to do this event. And so, you know, we get people out here, they get to see car culture, they get to see some of the finest of car culture, I would think. You know, this family-oriented sort of vibe to it. And it makes it's important because it makes it so that cars are not something that, oh, those darn car guys down the street, they're wrenching on their cars, they're loud. No, this is a thing. Cars can be a community event like this. Would you agree with that?
100%. It's a very educational, it can be a very family-oriented thing, very neighborly type thing to be into. You can, if you're into cars, there's a lot of cross paths from every walk of life, every financial stature, you know, in life, in every part of the community. Race, creeds, religions, financial stat. None of that stuff matters. If you're a car person, you're into cars, you like it, you appreciate the builds, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the stress, the extra work, and all the parts waiting, because there's lots of parts to always be ordered.
Oh yeah, and you know how that is. You like to order the hard to get stuff from Japan.
Yes.
I think that shows that you're a very patient person, or at least like the suffering from it.
I would say committed. It was probably the nice way to say
committed?
it.
Okay, we'll use committed.
I do have a wife. I'm a very committed human being, so it works that way.
Oh man, no, that is good. Now, give me a little bit of an update here on some of the projects you've got going on at home. Again, you know, people are used to hearing you on the radio. A lot of them don't know you're probably the biggest car guy here in town. I'm hyping you up a little bit, but car hermit?
Yeah, I kind of keep to myself, but as far as it comes to like Toyotas or Japanese import cars, you probably are right. I probably do have the most for just one person.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wondering, if you're into the A86 realm, the old Toyota stuff, and you're wondering, gosh, why can't I find cars? Why can't I find parts? It's Jim's fault because he's buying them all.
I do. I have one actually on my trailer right now, and we're putting it together in the trailer, and the reason why is because I can move it to the shade and work on it.
Are you doing that thing where you store cars on your trailer until you need your trailer, and then you have to take the cars off the trailer to use it again?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what's happening.
Okay, I'm only speaking from personal experience.
The perks of it is that you can be like, you know what? It's this time of the day. I have an hour. I can move over here because the shade's over here and work on it in a whole nother spot. Plus, because the shop is just packed full of too much stuff. I have a problem. I need one of those. What do they call them? Not intermission. What do they call this stuff when the people come and they're like, "Hey, we're here to talk to you about your addiction to vehicles or whatever."
Is there like a Car Guys Anonymous?
There you go. Yeah.
I think that's what you need. If it exists, let us know.
My name's Jim Miller. I own more cars than probably 10 families put together, and 12 other car guys added to that. I have a problem.
He's again the reason why. He's the reason why you can't get parts. Because he's hoarding them all.
Yes,
and
but I am working on 11, and it is on the trailer, and just moving it to the shade and working on it right on the tilt back Texas It's fine.
I love it. I love it. Now, are you finding that with all these cars, that it's harder to manage with all the cars, or do you find that with like having all these cars gives you like room for like spare parts and things like that?
I didn't have to order a single part for the A86 11 because I have quadruplicates at least of pretty much everything. That makes it kind of nice. Some of the other stuff, it's like, where do you find this part at? You're like, I don't even know. They don't have nothing listed nowhere. Some of the myths and stories of, oh, well, if it's in this many years, you can get them right, direct from Toyota. No. You have to just order it from Japan and just get it. It gets annoying sometimes. You are right.
Oh, yeah.
The registrations are a killer. The insurances are a killer.
Yeah, I have this. I want to go on a tangent while you just piqued my interest on the insurance and the registration thing. I know local governments don't want to do it this way, probably because it makes them less money.
Right.
But and I know Brian here, OBD1 Kenobi, he walked up, and I know he would probably agree with me on this. But why can't we have like a single registration that follows the driver?
That would be
right?
fantastic.
Because I can't drive two cars at once.
Nope, just one at a time.
And you might say, well, what if one of my family members wants to drive it? Okay, well, you get a registration with your license, and then they're covered again.
They have theirs too.
And same thing with insurance.
Yeah.
Like, I can only drive one car at a time. And trust me, if I could figure out how to drive two at a time, I would. Would you, Brian? He says he would. He says
I think
he would.
Michael Keaton had a movie about that as Multiplicity. He kept cloning himself
Oh, yeah?
until he got a bad copy. That's the whole plot of the movie. Spoilers. Sorry, guys.
Uh-oh. The movie's spoiled.
Perfectly spoiled.
But yeah, that's the tangent, I think, with that. And now, with all those cars, I'm sure, we all love cars. That's why we're out here. That's why we're here at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fan Fest. And, of course, just loving car culture. I think that's getting down to it. Because you're just a guy and you like cars.
Yeah,
I'm just a guy and I like cars. Brian's a guy, he likes cars. There's some gals over here, they like cars. They're looking at this Mustang.
There's people everywhere around here that like cars. If we could spin around, we'd be able to show you. There's just everybody likes cars. Like, I don't even know this guy. This guy likes cars.
He's looking at there he
This
goes.
other guy likes cars.
Yep.
Those ladies like cars. These
And-
kids over here like cars.
And so what I'm getting at with this is if you're here in Colorado Springs, come join us out here right now if you're watching this on the live stream. I've been calling this the live stream of the live stream of the radio show, but it's a recording of the radio show. The live stream of the recording of the radio show. Of course, you can hear this as well on the radio Saturday morning. Now, the reason we're doing it this way is because, well, FanFest is here downtown, and my show's on Saturday. So what can I do? So
It just is what it is.
it is what it is. Joining me here again is Jim Miller, just a guy. And, of course, you can tune into him every single weekday around 3 p.m. on the Peak News. Listen to his rants. Now, we're going to take a break here. We've had some comments in the chat as well here on the live stream. I don't mean to ignore you. We're going to answer those comments here in the break, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Automotive ADHD Show. We are live from the Hill Climb Fan Fest and the Hemmings.com footprint. We'll see you here after the break. Don't go anywhere. And here we are. Now you're in the intermission edition of the show. And we've got comments from Andrew saying that that he loves the show. Then, of course, sponsored by. Yeah, I know, we're sponsored by. Let's see here. Bob says, just left the Fan Fest. He says I'm a great dude. I don't know if I believe him. I think you're a great dude, though.
No, he's good. No, Bob sounds fantastic. It's Fantastic Bob. Better than Fantastic Sam.
He says I didn't leave due to meeting Matt. Just to clarify,
Nice.
I don't believe you.
Nice.
I don't believe you. I think I scared you off. And
Did you give him one of those weird high fives you do? Is that what happened?
weird high?
Yeah, you do a weird, awkward
Do
high
I
five.
do a high? Here.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's left-handed, but here.
See,
There.
it was just a little awkward. It kind of throws people off. They're
Yeah.
like, it was fine till the high five, but it's okay.
I think it's because my head is a little bigger. No.
Equilibrium and balance.
Yeah. That's what's going on there. And Spectre Linguist says, awesome live event, makes me feel like I'm there. I wish you were here. and coming down here to the Pikes Peak Hill Climb
He still can be.
Fanfest.
He still can be here.
Yeah, that is good. So it looks like folks are enjoying it. Of course, comment in the live stream here. We're both on YouTube and Facebook, and then if you missed anything, if you joined the live stream late, well, you can catch up with it on the podcast, or you can catch up with it on the radio show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer, as well as 91.7 KLZR and AM 1400 KRLN. So we're going to work on getting our next guest over here onto the show.
You want me to go pillage him? I know he's around here somewhere.
Go find Brandon.
All right, hey, everybody remember, bring your kids out here, get them in the cars now while they're young, because then later on when they're hanging out with their teenage friends, they'll be too broke and too busy to do drugs or get drunk and do dumb things. They'll be doing dumb things with vehicles and spending all their money on parts. That is the best part about being in the car thing, especially getting your kids into it.
I think that is great advice. Dad advice. Brian's a new dad.
There you go, Brian.
Your son needs to get into cars.
Oh, I found our guy.
You found our guy.
But hold on, as soon as he's done talking, I'm going to get him.
Awesome. Yeah, see, Brian, you're a new dad, and how is the kid's name, by the way? I'm not going to dox him on the internet, but his first name is Holden. So how can he not be a car guy? He's named you named him after an Australian car company. Are you aware? What was that? You got away with it.
Very boomerang of you.
Does she know that that's where the name comes from? She found out later.
Oh, sir. Sir. Oh.
Okay, well, really? You sure she wasn't just saying that?
She's all being friendly. We're already married. It's all right. I have a wife, too. It's fine. Oh, yeah.
Did you name your kid after any particular cars?
No.
No?
No, I actually just looked up names and found the ones that I can make fun of the least, and that's how I put it together.
Oh, okay.
I found names, and I just kept making fun of them. I was like, this sounds cool, and I just find ways to make fun. I was like, yeah, it's not that cool.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's flag down Brandon here. Let's flag him down.
Brandon, you're up to bat. Brandon's on deck.
You, sir, are up.
Oh. There we go. Sorry. It's toasty. Yeah. Pour the sugar the whole thing. Thank you so much. Of course not. It's all the same team. Fun event.
All right, Brandon, get nice and close to the microphone here.
All right. How are you guys doing?
We are doing good. We've been live. We've been having fun. The wind's coming in a little bit, but I'm disappointed that we haven't had any cars revving at us during the show in the past at least 15 minutes. So we might need to fix that.
I know a guy. We'll change that for you.
He knows a guy. Awesome. All right, I'm going to switch things over here. We're going to roll the next segment. Here we go. And you are joining us live from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. Of course, we are broadcasting here from the Hemmings.com footprint. My next guest is the VP of Marketing for Hemmings, and he has done some tremendous work putting this whole thing together, bringing an incredible car out here. Brandon, VP of Marketing for Hemmings. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you to you. I mean, this was your whole idea, inviting us out. We had never been to Pikes Peak, so of course heard about it for the many years. And we're here. I told you we'd come, and we came.
You came here, and you really got a great setup. Now, before we get into a little bit of your background and a little bit of Hemmings as well, you got some great stuff I want to talk about. Tell me about that Mustang back there.
Yeah. So we brought a 1970 428 Mustang, 66 original miles, 66,000 original miles, 428, numbers matching, all original. But yeah, we brought it out. We were trying to figure out what would this audience want to see. You know, I know there was going to be a ton of race cars going up the hill. Honestly, it was between this Mach 1 and vintage Bronco. And I decided to go with the Mustang.
The Mustang. I think the Mustang has brought out an incredible crowd.
Everybody loves it.
I was joking with Jim here. I was like, gosh, this car's making it look like people come and listen to my show.
Yeah.
But no, they're here for the car.
Yeah. No, it's great. And, I'm really intrigued. So I like to send ourselves to these types of shows because we don't want only to engage with our current customer base, that legacy customer, seasoned collector, but we want to help grow and uplift that next generation of collector car enthusiasts. And I am so pleased to see the young folks out here, from 5 years old to 25 years old. They know what they're talking about, and they're starting the process to get into the hobby. And I always say the best way to get in is to buy something you can afford and make it better.
That's a great way. And I mean, when we're young and we're getting into cars, I mean, that's how I think the best way to do it. You get something, you make it a bit better, whether that be fix it up or you're changing up a few things here and there. A lot of times your first car is going to be something you're fixing up. You're learning the basics. You're doing oil changes, tires, things like that. Now, have you seen especially this car, have you seen the younger crowd getting really excited with this car?
Absolutely. I mean, so the beautiful part about bringing a car to a show like this is we can bring a live listing. And that's where you can add a QR code that directs you to Hemmings.com to check out the asking price, the details, tons of photos beyond just looking around it here. And again, these young folks, 25, 30 years old, know what they're talking about. Their father or grandfathers used to have one, used to own one. Some folks already have them, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what do I do to it next? But they're super engaged, and I love to see that, right? Because, again, we're trying to foster that next generation of enthusiasts. Yes, we help buyers and sellers move cars. But we're also a resource for every enthusiast, whether you're a novice or a seasoned collector, with buyer's guides, covering media, what to do with this. And I love that, right? That's what Hemmings is about.
Yeah.
And we have been for 70 years.
I was going to say, people know Hemmings a lot from the magazine, but you're so much more than that now.
Yeah.
Really so much more. Walk me through some of the things. You mentioned them briefly there, but walk me through some of really the key highlights. Obviously, the auction, selling the cars, doing that stuff. Walk me through some of the details on that.
Yeah, so we are the frictionless marketplace.
Okay.
And what that means is, no matter, again, if you're a novice or seasoned collector, Hemmings.com can help you from start to finish. So you're interested in buying a vehicle, Hemmings.com, you use your search criteria, it pops up various selling platforms. We have a 1-week, 7-day auction for your more, wild crowd, people who love that kind of thing.
Right,
and then our make offer product, which connects buyers and sellers, and they can negotiate in real time. And instead of meeting up in an alley or a parking lot, in a sketchy situation, with a briefcase full of cash, you negotiate in real time, have that same experience from the safety of your own home or couch, wherever you are. And that's just the selling and buying. The real piece of the equation that makes ours frictionless is we help you with pre-purchase valuations, inspections, shipping your car. We help you finance. We have an insurance marketplace. We have pay and title. And I don't want to breeze over pay and title. We'll get to that in a second. But every piece of the puzzle to make this experience enjoyable, we have. We have great partners that help us do it.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's really incredible that you can do, which is, if you want to get into the collector car scene, the collector car market especially, a lot of folks are interested in these cars who don't have a ton of experience buying old, unusual, classic cars, and you're able to provide them, I don't want to use a cliche, a one-stop shop, but that's really what you're doing. You can start here, and you can go all the way through the collector car ownership process with Hemmings, and once you've got the car, you've got support, you've got information,
Yep.
you've got all of this backing. And
Yeah.
is that really what you guys focus on?
Yeah,
there?
I mean, 70 years of experience and trust. You pick up the phone, you call with a question. You're speaking to a human being,
Yeah.
which is not the case for a lot of companies in general. And we pride ourselves in that. We have if you're an auction, if you're listing a vehicle with our auction, you get a dedicated listing specialist who helps you with your reserve, who helps you with your listing. What can I do to make this better? Well, take these kind of photos.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to pause.
There's the box
There
one
we go.
going now. Oh, no, that's not the Mach 1. Where is that?
Where is that? Oh, it's right past the Mach 1, right behind him.
Oh,
There he is.
yeah, there's a few cars out here.
I love that. And that's the beauty of doing it live out here.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that. It's bringing the crowd over there. Now, you started the Mach 1 earlier.
Yeah.
Are we going to maybe do that again?
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to do that again.
Yeah, we need to find Eric so he can fire it up.
Especially because they started it, so now we got to start this
Yeah.
one here.
That one's a beast over there. I don't know if we can hang with that guy, but that one's going up the hill for sure.
Yeah, he's going up the hill. That's got a nice sound to it. And we're going to that's the nice thing about doing it live here. Like I was joking earlier, I play car sounds. Listeners send their car sounds in on my show, and I play them. And, I don't have to do that out here. It's natural. It happens.
Yeah.
You don't know when it's going to happen, but you know it's going to happen.
Just keep listening. You'll hear a few more.
I love it. And I think we've got a good setup out here. Of course, we're broadcasting live from the Hemmings.com footprint. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing I think that at least the radio listeners, they get the benefit. They can hear that full sound. The downside is they can't see that beautiful car over there, and they can't see this beautiful Mach 1 sitting behind you.
Yeah.
But that's where you got to tune in to the video on YouTube and Rumble. Now, Brandon, we were talking about how Hemmings gives you a one-stop shop with all of these great services, especially for the collector car owner, the current collector car owner, or the aspiring collector car owner. But what do you think, we were talking about getting the young kids into that. Obviously, I mean, look at all the people around this Mustang right now. You got your older guys who are, maybe remembering these when they were new, but all these dudes these younger guys love these older cars. What do you think the importance is, in getting back to the local car scene when it comes to, we were talking about getting younger folks into it, but getting back to the local car culture as a whole?
It's very important, and I share with you off mic is that's my goal. That's part of my strategy. And the reason is we need to, if we're saying from the rooftops, we are your one-stop shop, your resource to be in the hobby, and we're not there, we're not reading from the same sheet of music, right? And of course, I leverage those types of shows, and the reason why I'm here, one of the many reasons I'm here, is I like to talk to the enthusiast, the car enthusiast. What do you like? What don't you like? What don't you like about Hemmings.com? Because I can take that information, send it back to our team, and that's how we get better. This frictionless marketplace didn't just come up out of nowhere. It came from lots of and many conversations over the years. Where are the pain points at? And we addressed every one of those within 3 years, right? Jonathan Shaw, our president at Hemmings, really made that a priority.
Awesome.
Listen, address, and build based on feedback.
I love it. And we had Jonathan on a few months ago here on the show. So if you didn't catch that, I encourage you to listen to it. Now, we are live from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest at the Hemmings.com footprint. Don't go anywhere. Join us after the break. We're going to keep going right here on Automotive ADHD. There we go.
Clips cut out, whatever, the best they could. And then he kept hitting. I was trying to be quiet. I was like, stop doing this. I was like, you're ruining all the audio. Take your time. I tried to get like all back. Tried to get.
Yeah, I think we're going good. We're going good. That's how we, every year we come out here, we do it a little bit bigger. We have a little bit more fun with it. And I think these guys are a good help. These, like two Stooges at least.
Yeah.
Two of them. So.
Well, I think I'm going to have to come back next year of course, do this setup with you, but I'm going to be in the market for some drivers. Teams.
Ooh.
You know,
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
very competitive, and you know, my background, I was a baseball player at a very high level before I got a real job. And
that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about is your background in sports. You have quite the background.
Yeah.
Before coming to Hemmings, tell me a little bit about that.
So I was fortunate enough to play collegiate baseball at USC, Southern Cal, just, you know, a few states over from where we're at now in Colorado. And then once baseball kind of hung on my cleats, I got a job at UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I started in affiliate marketing and grew into social media role. And one day in 2017, NASCAR called me and said, hey, we have this opportunity. And this was when Monster Energy had purchased the rights to the Cup Series. So I had done some work with them, and I said, okay. You know, they promised me 4 seasons, all very mild seasons. And where I was at in Las Vegas at the time, it was just hot and hotter. And I grew up in Vegas, so like it was just hot. So I went out there for a quick round of interviews, said, yes, let's do it, and spent 5 years at NASCAR doing our track marketing and some partnership marketing. And then the Hemmings opportunity came in, and the vision and the history and the legacy of Hemmings just was really intriguing to me.
Yeah.
And at my core, I love community. I love to build community. And those are 3 sports. One, you know, Hemmings not be the sport, but 3 businesses that have such a deep community.
Yeah.
You know, and I love to foster that. I love to build it. And that's my background. But from the competitive standpoint, you know, I'd love to come out here and win.
Yeah. That's one of the great things, I think. You know, the hill climb is one of those events that, I mean, it's one of the biggest mountains to tackle, like literally, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the bigger challenges out there. It's such a hard race to do, but it brings out the most competitive people, and it brings out some of the best competition. But it also brings out, talking about community, it brings out a sense of community, because a lot of these drivers, yeah, they're competing with each other. But when I've talked to guys, they give each other's tips and pointers. Okay, how did you go through this corner? How did you handle this bump?
Yeah.
What are you doing for your suspension? It has a real community sense. These guys are competing with each other, but they're also there to help each other get up the mountain safely.
Yes.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, yeah, the times are there, but a lot of them say, hey, I just want to get up to the top.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that would be great if Hemmings sponsored a race car going up there. I'm just, you know, just a wink and a nod, just saying, you know.
Yeah, I know you're affiliated with a few folks, so we'll chat.
Awesome. Hey, let's do that again. My guest, Brandon, thank you so much for joining me here on the Automotive ADHD
No, I
show.
appreciate you're crushing it, and I again appreciate the invite to come attend this with you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Colin, we're going to adjust a couple of things here on the live stream. Of course, we are at the Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo under the Hemmings.com footprint. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be back here in just a minute. I think I'm going to go wrangle Ethan Hunter. I'll see if I can get him on the show. So hang tight. here's what we're gonna do. If you're joining us here on the stream, I'm doing something really dangerous. Okay, so I have to go wrangle my next guest. He's somewhere over there, so I need to go get him. And these two have offered to take over the show for a little bit.
Yep, you're the
So
man.
you're going to sit over here. I have no idea what they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to talk about. At least keep it like PG-13.
Okay. Are we on a radio?
You're on the stream. You're on the stream. And you'll probably end up in the bonus edition of the podcast as well. So, yeah, have at it. So I don't know what's going to happen. If the show is suddenly wildly successful after I leave, well,
What?
I can't do anything about that. Anyway, here.
All right.
We're only doing this.
Squeeze out this way.
We're only doing this because you promised drinks. He promised Red Bulls on the way back. They were cold.
Uh-oh.
Cold drinks.
Wait, did I say they were cold? I said you'd get a drink.
Yes.
All right.
Cold? I didn't agree to that. That's extra.
A drink of his drink.
So the best part about this is, I know nothing about what any of these buttons do. I am never been a host of anything ever before in my entire life, and I don't even know. I have no plans for this whatsoever. I have
fine.
nothing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Absolutely perfect.
yeah, we're doing great.
It's actually just fine. We're good.
Yeah. No. Okay. So all right. What's
I got these guys for me.
which is a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
We've-
good.
by the way, we've already started our first topic, which is going to be about 45 more minutes of.
I'll have to tell our guests the bad news.
Yeah. Yep. We got a lot going on. Also, I want to know why you were wearing a different set of sunglasses when I showed back up.
I brought him for him.
Okay. All right. I just thought it brought a
I
certain
brought him a Hot
vibe.
Wheel, a set of glasses,
Yeah.
and a bag.
See, I thought it brought a certain vibe to the entire show
He
that was
actually looked
really
very,
helpful.
very
Yeah.
90s hip. I mean,
I agree. Like that was a Vanilla Ice
You're
like
like-
look-alike. If we gave him some Frosted Tips on air, which by the way, I want to go on record as saying I would very much encourage everybody to write in and encourage him to get Frosted Tips while he's not listening.
just the tips.
Just the tips.
Just the tips,
the tips.
frosted.
Yeah, and the more we can encourage him to dress. You ever see that Ice-T movie? He made a movie called Cool as Ice where he directed and rapped and produced it, and it's just as
I
good as
just
you.
remember him in Tank Girl as the kangaroo guy.
Okay, yeah. So imagine if that was a movie like that. Like it's not.
Oh, and he's in Johnny Mnemonic too with
Sure.
with the Matrix guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna
Keanu
nod along.
Reeves.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, I'm
Keanu
gonna
Reeves.
nod
No,
along
he's in it.
on that. Yeah. So, anyways,
Ice-T.
yeah, Ice.
Ice-T is
that's
delicious.
Ice-T. So I was talking Vanilla Ice.
Are you guys talking about tea on my show?
No, we're talking about iced tea and or Vanilla Ice. I'm actually a little bit
Oh, like-
confused
Yeah,
now.
he's confusing
Yeah.
me with it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Continue. The Vanilla Ice one where he's driving his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like jumps a motorcycle
Yeah,
over a horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
I'm going to kick you guys off my show now.
Oh.
Do we have 1 million views yet? Yeah. No? Okay.
it just says no, just like 300,000 plus or minus.
300,000?
Yeah.
After you say,
Yeah, after
Yeah.
I said that. So
okay.
you're going to get a lot of interesting letters about Frosted Tips, and you should listen to you dyeing your hair a little bit. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You heard it here first.
It's a Volvo
Yeah,
thing.
maybe not.
All right.
Yeah, it is. All right.
We're out. We're off. Here comes Matt
I'm getting-
West
I'm
and
they're-
Ethan
I'm too
Heinze.
radical.
You're canceled.
I'm they canceled me. Too radical for
thanks
the
for
internet.
Get over here, Ethan.
Uh,
We honestly thought it was going to be longer to find you.
Oh, that's all
We
good.
didn't know. We were understanding longer.
Oh, that's all good. I'm easy to find sometimes.
all right. Yeah, you're right. You're right there. So now get nice and close to that mic. Like, you got to get so close that you're maybe giving it an indirect kiss.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
making out with microphones.
Yes, sir. All right. So you are joining us. I don't know what Wesley and Jim really talked about. So
Let's get into
I'll-
race cars.
yeah, I was gonna say I'll have to tune back into my own show and find out later. So. All right. So we're going to roll this here. You're joining us for the live stream of the Hill Climb Fan Fest. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get into our next segment here. Start that. Got to push. Those were car sounds from a mutual friend of ours. That was Jimmy Ford. Ethan, I'm going to get your car sounds in on the next one. I got a great video of you launching up at Glen Cove. And we'll get those in maybe on the next show here. But that being said, my guest is Ethan Hunter, one of the newest to claim the title of a Pikes Peak Hill Climb driver. Ethan, welcome on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you've been on the show before. We've talked about how you're sort of a racing lunatic, as you've said.
That's right.
You do if it's got wheels and you can drive it fast, you pretty much do it.
Right. That's right.
Yep. You do drifting. You do now Pikes Peak Hill Climb driving. Tell me about, real quick, for folks who maybe haven't listened to the show with you on it, tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, real quick. We started out in quarter midgets at the age of 5. And then from there, we raced sprint cars, late models, drift cars, you name it. We tried it. But now we finally found something that was just as crazy as me, I think. And this road or track, mountain, whatever you want to call it, this thing it's gnarly. It's awesome. It's actually getting my blood flowing like it used to.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Wow. Now, this is what's crazy, right? So you weren't planning this year, for sure, to go to the Hill Climb, right?
We applied.
You applied, and they said, hang tight, we'll let you know, right?
Exactly.
And then they let you know how soon?
They let me know probably about 3.5 weeks ago.
3.5 weeks.
Yep.
And so that might sound like a lot of time, but when we're talking hill climb time, that's not a lot when it comes to prepping.
Yeah,
right?
that's like a weekend.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how the prep has gone. How have you been able to, I'm sure it's been a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of hard work with everyone involved, but tell me what that's been like getting ready in 3 weeks for the hill climb.
Right. So originally we were going to do campaign the Evo, Mitsubishi Evo that I've been building.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got waitlisted, it kind of seemed like I wasn't going to get it. This year is going to be more of like a next year type of thing. So we just kind of put that car on the back burner. And we've always had this car, this road course Camaro stock car.
I say that's not an Evo.
That is not an Evo.
That is not
no.
an Evo.
So we had to ask them if we could switch chassis and switch classes because I was going to run Time Attack 1 in the Evo. This one's a Pikes Peak Open car. And they approved that change, and we had 3 weeks, to get this car from just a regular road course car into a hill climb car. And with it being carbureted and running on pump gas or a race gas, not an ethanol or a methanol, we were thinking we were going to run into some issues with some heat and getting hot, and this car wasn't built for that.
Right.
But we've changed it. We've changed some aero package. We've changed tires. We changed suspension. And right now it's feeling really good. So we're really happy with the changes we've made. We think we can be a little bit faster, but it's more of me. I'm not going to go out there and just try to light the world on fire my first time. I want to go out there and be safe and come home at night and be able to do it again next year.
Right. And you want to get invited back again, obviously,
exactly.
right? And putting down a good run, but being safe, and showing the officials, hey, I can be safe racing this mountain. That's very important.
Exactly.
Right? Because the hill climb, it's inherently dangerous. I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
Right?
The most dangerous race in the world.
It's literally the most dangerous race in the world. And I also was hearing it's the second oldest race in the world.
That's right.
Just goes to show that dudes were up there racing long before we even had, roll cages and safety.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before safety was invented.
Right. Safety third.
Safety third. What's safety?
That's right.
But, so you've been up there now. I saw you briefly on, what was it, Wednesday I was up there. We were up at Glen Cove. And I saw you up there briefly. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. That saved my life, I think. Actually.
You got to have a Keurig.
Yeah, I was dying, and he's like, hey, I got some coffee for you. I was like, okay.
That's right.
But that being said, you were up there. How was the road? How was your kind of, obviously you've been doing practice, so it's not the first time you're seeing the road, but what were your first impressions, especially coming to this for the first time?
People say that the road always changes, and I'm starting to see that. It's not like it's a drastic change that you would think, like, oh, these corners are completely different. It's more of like, there's new obstacles, whether that's, a little bit of water drip down and now it's frozen because it was 30 degrees and there's a wind chill, so now you got a little bit of ice patch on the road, or, marmots running across the street, or previous guys' cars. Sometimes they leak fluids or they break apart, and now that's in the road, and you got to deal with that. And if you haven't seen that before, it's brand new, and you got about 5 seconds to, or maybe less than 5 seconds to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to overcome that obstacle. I think that's kind of one thing that's kind of been new to me, because when I'm out on a racetrack, it's very consistent. It's always the same.
Right.
But this road does change, but it's not like geographically changing. It's changing in the elements.
Yeah, I've heard that too from folks, and especially folks who come back second, third, fourth time. They go, hey, there's a bump here that wasn't there last year.
Right.
Because what happens, I think a lot of people don't realize, is the hill climb was on dirt previously.
Right.
And not really all that long ago, they changed it to pavement.
Right.
For better or for worse, because when it was dirt, they could grade the road before the race and smooth it out. Now you can get these higher times and higher grip, but you have to contend with the fact that the freeze-thaw cycle changes that pavement every winter.
Annually.
Every winter.
Yeah, it changes it annually. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The conditions up there are insane. Good point of that was on Thursday. We had a bunch of rain and fog and nastiness up there. You didn't run on Thursday, did you?
On Thursday, no, we did not. We were going to run the top, and the top got canceled.
Yeah, top got canceled. That's where I was going to be heading up as well.
Right. So we ran the top today, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
So today, for those of you joining at home, today was sort of like a bonus day that they do.
Makeup day.
Makeup day.
Right.
If like something gets canceled because of weather, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
So I didn't make it up there to the top section today. I slept in until 5 a.m. today. So
nice. I'm jealous.
I know. You were saying, what, you got an hour of sleep?
Yeah, I got an hour nap in.
That's an hour. That's 59 minutes more than you need.
That's right.
But how was the top section up there then? I didn't get a chance to see it.
The top section was really wet. It was actually our first time putting on the wets, wet tires, and those are a groove tire opposed to our slick tire that we use for dry conditions. And that tire was actually really good in the rain, but it behaves nothing like a slick. You get onto the brakes too hard, and it's going to lock up immediately.
Yeah.
And getting on the gas, you got to be real easy. Just got to treat those tires as if they're, on ice.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels that way up there at the top, because the pavement's so cold.
Yeah.
And you add water into the mix, and then you add a little bit of sand in there. It's just a mixture that's equals no grip. Right?
Wow.
So, and you got to go 100 miles an hour.
Now, here's a question for you. On race day, we don't know what the weather's going to be. There's forecasts.
Right.
We don't really listen to those because they're not right.
Yeah.
What the forecast says here is not what's going on up there.
Right. Pikes Peak is moody.
It can be 95 degrees and sunny down here, and up there at the top it might be freezing fog and like 30, 33 degrees, somewhere around there, 32. So here's a question then, and I've kind of wondered this, as I've been watching the guys driving up there, watching you, watching Jimmy, like on race day. You don't get to decide, okay, I'm going to use slicks on the lower section and rain tires on the top. You got to do the whole thing in one go.
Right.
How would you approach that? What's your strategy if we've got bad weather? Are you going to go for those rain tires and take a little bit of a time penalty on those in the dry sections down low? Or what? I'm just curious of the thought process behind that.
Well, you'd have to see, is it sprinkling or is it downpour? Has it been raining for hours? You got to take all that into account, because you don't need rain tires unless you have more than a few centimeters of water, standing water, because you don't hydroplane on a millimeter of water or a centimeter of water. So you kind of got to judge the weather and how much water is going to come. But for me, I would definitely try to stay on slicks as long as I could. I would hold out on slicks as long as I could, even to the point where it was just raining at the top. I'd probably run the whole thing on slicks and then just kind of chill out on the top.
Okay.
Because then, if I'm going to be on wets, that's going to take your time down, minutes almost.
Yeah. Wow. Now, of course, my guest is Ethan Hunter. He is racing the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb this Sunday, and we are broadcasting live from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fan Fest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. We are underneath the fantastic Hemmings.com footprint. Thank you for joining us on this very special edition of the show. We're going to keep going, but it's going to be a bonus on the podcast and the live stream. So thanks for tuning into the radio show. Join us on the bonus edition of the show after this. That's on YouTube, Spotify, wherever fine shows and mine are downloaded. I'll talk to you next week on the radio show right here. Don't go anywhere. And you are joining us again live on the stream here, YouTube and Facebook, from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fan Fest, brought to you by Gran Turismo. And this is just a tremendously fun event. And if you're not here, there's still some time. If you're in Colorado Springs, there's still some time. Get over downtown and come check it out. Come say hi. Come talk to the guys at Hemmings. They have some amazing stuff going on. They've got some cool swag on the table as well, and I don't think you want to miss out on this. And Wesley Kagan again joining me here.
Yeah, I was not invited back, but I sat down anyways.
He just sat down.
I just was like, I'm going to invite myself to this party.
He just sat down, and he is. That's what he's doing.
That's exactly. Yep. No, that's just what we're going.
Yeah,
for.
and Jim Miller's right there. He's snagging some energy drinks. I hear those are bad for you.
I don't think we're allowed to say the name of those either.
No, we're not.
No, so.
No, but you can at least mix up the color on it without it saying something. Anyway, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it.
Now, Wesley.
Yeah.
I need you to run through some things going on here. Talk about whatever you want, except for frosted tips. That's enough. That's clearly too far.
Everybody needs to.
I need to adjust the camera because it's getting dark and they're starting to not see us.
Everybody needs to call in, and I'm being serious, and get him to dye his hair. Like that is honestly the goal of this entire podcast to this point, and the entire radio show to this point. It's funny that we mentioned earlier in the show that he had a team of 30 that was actually set up to manage this, and that he's having to do it himself, but that's beside the point. That's not how that works. Once again, he's left me to just kind of riff into a microphone, which is a bad idea for everybody involved, as we saw a little bit earlier on. So, anyways, definitely just standing over there. I could plug some of my own stuff. I feel like it's warranted at this point. So, if I have a couple of cool things coming out, so I have a wow. As soon as I started to plug my own stuff, he's like, "Oh, can't have that. Got to come back down. Got to come back over."
That's not allowed.
He heard me advertising somebody other than his own channel. So
I hear you do like YouTube and like some people watch you.
Oh, that's just an urban legend. Yeah, no, I do YouTube, and I have a short film coming out that I'm excited about a Ducati. that I is about 3/4 of the way done with.
If it makes you feel better, I've had listeners from other countries say, I listen to you so I can learn English better.
Okay.
And I say, no, you don't want to do that.
This is a...
Let's pause.
Let's pause for a moment. Yeah.
Take in the sounds. The ambiance? Yeah. Chop, 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 chop. I love it. Okay, so you gonna rev it? Come on, let's. Yep. I need to say some things because every time I try to say something, yeah, see.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that is how that works.
Yep.
Yeah. Woo. Oh man.
Yeah, no, you mentioned that you had people call in and be like and say I'm learning English.
Yeah, I'm learning English by listening to your podcast, and that is the last thing I want you to do.
This is a genuinely true story, and I'm going to tell it right now. So I was talking to someone who was from Switzerland and spoke very, very good English, and I after a little bit of time, I got to a point where they were like, I don't know how to pronounce this word that you just said. And I was like, oh, I made that word up. That's not a real word. Don't learn English from me. I will absolutely just invent a word or especially pronounce it wrong. So, yeah, no, like I feel for you on that one, without a doubt.
I think that Maserati head of design, I think he's still mad that I mispronounced his name on the show. Probably, was that like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? That's why he hasn't come on my show.
Being that we're not on the radio, and I really... So you did talk about the Maserati. I'm sorry.
We need to talk about this.
You did talk about the Maserati switch design and stuff like that.
Yes, I did.
Given that this is a car channel, and within that logic, I have a question for you. What's your opinion of what happened in Dallas with Kennedy and a Lincoln? And more importantly, did you have anything to do with it?
Well, my first question is, did the Lincoln Continental have buttons?
Yeah.
Or a touchscreen?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Because that's important. I think that's actually the most important part.
Did that have a push-button transmission? I felt like that has a push-button transmission. How do we feel about that?
Was it push-button torque flight?
Sounds like that.
Sounds like
yeah.
Power glide, torque flight. GM and Dodge guys, let me know.
Call in. There's a number blinking down below that you can call into the show and tell us what's going on.
The chat's not answering me. I need the chat to answer me.
Anyways,
torque flight. I'm running on not a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember the names of transmissions right now. This is what happens. I need another one of these.
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Another drink.
So, anyways, that's just let's let that simmer for a little bit.
Yeah.
And what were we doing? We were plugging my shit, weren't we? Oh. Can't say that.
Can't say that on the radio.
We'll bleep it out.
Yeah. No, we won't. We're live.
All right,
but
everybody.
We're plugging, that being said, we are plugging some of your stuff.
Yeah.
You do things on YouTube.
The weirdest thing is I don't swear on my channel, and then I come on somebody else's channel and I swear, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for everybody listening. I apologize about that.
So what has actually happened is this was live on the radio the whole time, and now the FCC is knocking on the station door.
They're literally
and saying that they want you and they want your head.
I'm gonna get arrested,
and you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, absolutely. Which
right
you know
now.
what? Fair. It's I understand. Like I broke the law.
Yep. It's he'll be gone by the morning. But
anyways,
you have YouTube stuff. You do a lot of engineering things, but you just do interesting stuff in general.
That's what I try and do. Yes.
You have a Ducati that you bought.
I did,
and it's like the paint is beautiful.
Paint is gorgeous.
And by the way, clarifying, this is a car show, but sometimes we love our motorcycle brethren who were born with 2 less wheels than the rest of us. We still love them anyway, though.
Yes. I do love this particular bike. It is one of my favorite designs ever, and the bevel drive Ducatis have always been a passion of mine. I've always really, really enjoyed them. So I picked up a 900 SD, which is the Sport Dharma, and I'm, of course, filming and putting it back together, and I'm really, really happy on how this entire project came together because I wanted to lean a little bit more on kind of the anthology and the history of the bikes and the history of cafe racers and motorcycling. So I assembled this together into a bit more of a long-form video about it instead of just me putting it back together. So I'm really excited for that to drop here. I'm not going to give an exact date because that won't go well. Probably mid-July. I almost said mid-June, but that would have been bad.
Are we on like Elon Musk time with this? So like it'll be 4 years from now?
I hope not.
We're gonna release something, but we're gonna wait 4 years to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's not gonna work when we release it.
I'm I'm looking forward to 2029 when I'm 46 and Free Valve 9 is coming out. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That doesn't track. That's not my age. That's not a real year.
I said you're
2029 year.
You're looking pretty good for 75, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. I only have the gray in my beard from you stressing me out, so that works.
Yeah, and just continuously telling you, hey, go fill in while I go grab a game.
Yeah.
Wesley didn't.
What's that about that?
He doesn't
What's
have any
that
prep.
about?
I just give him a microphone.
Which is a terrible idea.
That is a terrible idea.
Yeah. But no, I wanted to make I'm sorry to step on your line, but no, I wanted to make a movie because I wanted to make a film because this all got started and I wanted somebody else to shoot it. So I called up a friend of mine, Marty, Mr. Scorsese, as you know, and he said, "Who is this? How'd you get this number? Why don't call this number again?" And hung up on me. And once I got through a bunch of other A-list directors, I decided to just do it myself because I figured that would be just a little bit easier. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for it to come out. I'm going to plug all my socials because of who I am as a person, and that's...
He's just going to drop his socials here and then bail.
Yeah, I'm literally just start running.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that.
Way.
But yeah, I'm on YouTube at Wesley Kagan. I'm on Instagram at Wesley Kagan. If you type Google in Wesley Kagan, I come up, which is terrifying. You like how I jimmed the camera right there? You like how I broke the fourth wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. It worked out well.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
It was good. The people listening on the podcast don't know what you're talking about.
The joke is even better now that I have to explain it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's anytime you have to explain a joke. Oh man. But
see, this is I would come on this podcast every single week if I could just riff about stuff that nobody wants to listen to.
Oh man. You could talk for 20 minutes about some sort of industrial design or
I absolutely could.
Something like that.
I learned how no, I was literally just about to do that. So yeah, maybe not.
So, industrial design.
Okay, so I learned
Sorry, cut off. That's it. Go home. We tried.
Yep, we tried.
So,
anyway.
What's that? Cold revs?
Nah. It's bigger ovaries than I had. Bigger ovaries than I got.
So,
Cold rev.
I promise you we didn't actually plan that.
But it is funny.
But it is funny.
That's some comedic timing that you can only get. That's why we do it live, baby.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know why I said baby at the end of that.
That means your talk on industrial design is gonna have to wait.
He's gonna have to wait. But thank you very much for having me on this show. It's always a pleasure. I've known you since before I can remember. I've known you a very long time, and I'm never more happy than when I come on your show.
Well, thank you. That makes at least one person.
Okay.
Out of everyone who's been on the show, that's at least one. So
yep.
there you
it's
go.
Fun.
I love it. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. I love having you on.
Absolutely.
I see Obi-Wan Kenobi's come up. So, Brian, come. I'm sitting you in front of a microphone. I said you were going to be on if you showed up.
Now, why doesn't that work when I do it?
I can't.
All right.
I'm kicking you out. I'm kicking him out because he wants to talk about industrial design.
Yeah,
so
no, and I got cut off. Sorry,
and he got cut off.
with the cold rips.
Oh gosh, Brian, put a headset on. All right. So this is what you get. This is the fun part of the live stream here. You're getting some of this that. This is action you don't get on the regular show. I'm telling you that much. This is a lot of fun. Of course, sitting now across from the table from me, we are broadcasting live from the Hemmings.com footprint at the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, brought to you by Gran Turismo. I'm shouting really loud because I have to talk over the car. I'm probably not going to have a voice at the end of this.
Yeah, everyone's revving their stuff right now.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, get close to that microphone. Real close.
Oh, hey.
Hey, there you are. So, breathe in those hydrocarbons.
Oh, that sounded weird on the microphone.
Yeah, it's just passed out from the exhaust. No, it's good. But Brian, so I told you to come down. Of course, you have been very busy. You're a new father who's named his kid after a car without telling the missus.
She found out later.
She found out later?
I don't remember how it went.
And can I say your kid's name again on the air here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Holden.
Yeah.
Holden. So any of our friends in the land down under.
I really wish I could have brought him today. It would have been great. We could put him right here.
I think you need a shirt for Holden that says like Commodore on it, because the Holden Commodore is like famous. No one's gonna get the joke. But how have things been going? You've been busy. You've been a dad. But how are things going in the car world and the tuning world for you right now?
It is busy. I'm just trying to make traction.
Just trying to get things done,
like making it legitimate.
You are starting a legitimate business here, and this is really exciting. If you need wiring work and you're in the Colorado area, or even if you're not, I think Brian can help you out.
We'll work for food.
We'll work for food. We'll work for food. You heard it here first. So with the tuning space, what is it like right now getting into the industry? Obviously, you have some worries about, how the EPA is reacting around tuning.
I've got a lot of worries.
What are you noticing getting into this as a full-time business now?
I think that cars just aren't looked at the same way they were like 20 years ago by Big Brother, by local government. Everyone trying to come down, EPA, all that about emissions, things that bypass emissions. Vehicles that should be off-road use only, getting mods, and obviously the street racing scene doesn't help that.
Right, and that's why events like this are good, because this reminds folks that cars can be family-friendly.
Yeah.
This reminds folks cars can be family-friendly. You can have a good time. It can be done safely, and it can be done without a street takeover, most importantly. I've said this on the show before. I hate the street takeovers. They got to stop.
This is where car stuff kind of was born, too. It's hard. It's a fine line.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about ECUs and things. I know that's definitely something you find very interesting.
We're going to be here all day.
What is it here?
Oh, yeah, we're not here all day. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we've been here all day. 8:27 here, if you're joining us on the live stream. 8:27, downtown Colorado Springs. Pikes Peak Hill Climb Fanfest, brought to you by Gran Turismo at the Hemmings.com footprint. So Brian, with ECUs, we were talking a little bit. I've got my Honda down at your shop, not getting worked on whatsoever because I'm not coming down there. He's mad because there's this S2000 taking up space.
There's just this lift just not getting used. I'm going to have to park it out front.
Oh, yeah, but you're not going to be able to get it back over the hump in your garage, the concrete.
We'll figure it out.
It just gets stuck on there.
I'll just eat it.
That's my fault for bringing you my car and getting some rack time from you right before Hill Climb Week.
Yep.
Again, I've been stressing this on the air here. Hill Climb Week. The Hill Climb is a single day of a race. It is Hill Climb Week, though, when you're doing all of this. It is busy. The drivers are busy.
Oh, yeah.
Not
the drivers
sleeping.
Are doing all day.
Yeah. And, even me just being up on the mountain as media, I was getting let's see, I think in 48 hours I got less than 8 hours of sleep. So, but that being said, all of that is excuses. The shame is that my car can't even get on the lift right now because it's so low.
Yeah.
And we don't have a jack that fits under it. And even with two 2x4s stacked around each of the wheels, it still doesn't fit on the lift.
I tried.
Yeah. It's I'm just going to have to bring my nice jack, and that's the only one that fits that car. But ECUs here, because we're going into a tangent here on the show. We're not on the radio anymore, so I've got more room to talk. But we're experimenting with doing UAEFI on the car, because if you're just tuning in from home, what I'm doing is I'm putting a K24 in my S2000. I'm getting rid of the perfectly good and functional F20, the original engine that was in it. Works fine. That's why I'm getting rid of it, you know, because if it ain't broke, break it, or if it ain't broke, fix it anyway. And we're doing UAEFI. So tell me a little bit about how ECU tuning, or ECU standalones in general. Tell me about the UAEFI.
I think right now we're in a great sweet spot in the world where technological advances and the internet and social media has brought together the ability for people to build all sorts of complex projects that before would only be able to be done by manufacturers, you know, people with lots of money. People now can get, you know, hardware on that kind of level built on the cheap. And the great thing about it is it's opening a market, it's bringing down prices and allowing people to access technology that used to be impossible to get unless you were, you know, competitive with lots of money.
That doesn't have EFI on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. That's why we're struggling to breathe.
Let's go! Oh, they're both going now. Woo! Get a deep breath of that. I was going to say, he starts his engine, then the other guy starts his engine, and Jim's over here just dying. He's sitting over here.
It's smoking a lot.
Oh, man. So we were talking about EFI, which that doesn't have. Do you want to do a tune on that? To convert that to EFI? A lot of the classic guys, that car's all original, as far as I'm told.
That might be piston rings.
Yeah, but
or valve seals.
But that car, all original, could use it to run as good as a modern car. I get that guys who buy classic cars, I get that they, you know, want that classic feel. They want the vibe of a carburetor. They go, no, this EFI is garbage. I don't know how to tune it. That's not the case anymore.
Well, it's just from their generation. You know, the carburetors made sense back then. A couple screws, you know, modify your accelerator pump, whatever. You know, float bowls, whatever it is, carburetors, there it is.
Yeah.
You bolt it on, you hook a hose to it in your throttle, and you got yourself a car that runs.
Yeah.
For us, we're in a whole different world now where, you know, we can tweak way more and more out of engines than before. We can make them run in different environments all the time perfectly.
Yeah.
And to each their own. I mean, it's not like a carburetor can't run a car just fine. It's just...
Well, and you look at some of the guys going up the mountain, they're running carb on Pikes Peak. Which brings some unique challenges, and they have their reasons for wanting to continue to do that.
Yeah.
But that brings some challenges because you have to kind of jet the car. You know, a carburetor, you set it for the kind of the altitude you're at. There's no dynamic compensation for.
And those people want to work with what's familiar with them. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes trying to jump that gap doesn't gain them enough
to
be
or
worth it.
Either that, or the car that the place the car has to race for the other 364 days of the year versus Pikes Peak. It's required for the class, for example.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so there's reasons they do that still, but you have to. I was talking to Jimmy, and he was saying, well, we kind of jet the car for around the middle of the mountain.
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
Yeah, which is interesting to me because you have to set your carburetor for basically one altitude, but you have 14,000 feet of elevation there, right? So pick an altitude. What do you set it at? You set it, what a lot of the guys are doing, you set it for the middle of the mountain. That way, at the bottom or the top, you're neither too rich nor too lean, and right in the middle where you're really putting down some fast times, it's running right. You know, and the idea is to not blow it up. Now, with EFI, that's different. That's totally different. You can tune that. It can adjust dynamically on the fly. It can do all sorts of cool stuff. It's another one.
That is another one.
You know what's disappointing is we saw a friend of the show, Devin, here. He came by. He did not. I'll say it after this. Hold on.
We need the scooter.
So yeah, that's what I was going to mention. So whenever I talk, I swear.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Yeah. So let's get a little bit of that chop. Some clapping there. Yeah, I'll clap too. There we go.
Sounds like Devin's wagon.
It does. I can't wait to see that thing running.
It runs.
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen it.
We just got it running.
I heard. So I think he's probably done. I said more than 2 words. I think he's not cut me off yet.
We'll just continue.
Yeah, so my disappointment is that Devin, he showed up here. He brought me this nice Toyota hat. So Devin, thank you for bringing me the Toyota hat. Best car manufacturer, can do no wrong, has never done anything wrong. They're great.
To each their own.
Yeah. Even Jim's like, I don't know. But I sort of say that sarcastically. It's not biased at all. But so he didn't come with the scooter, though. 2 years ago, he came out here.
We need the scooter.
We need the scooter. Devin came out here.
We
were recording the show. And okay, if you're just joining us on the show, maybe if you haven't, if you're new to it and you haven't listened through the past 2 years of shows, what Devin did is we were doing this thing right here, live from the show. He gets behind us with his scooter, his moped, and does the fattest burnout. The fattest burnout anyone has ever done on a moped. Interrupting our show, but it was amazing because he did that, and then the other people started their race cars to rev it like this because he did it with the scooter. And you know what? Everyone cheered him on. No one cared about the race cars. Everyone was clapping and just applauding the scooter burnout.
The Honda, the 50cc Honda.
50 cc's. Like, let's go! Now, do you think he should take a scooter up Pikes Peak?
At the end, it's like going 5 miles an hour because the altitude.
I don't think anyone has set the scooter record. So, Devin, when you're listening to this, you know what to do.
500 feet, like 10 feet from the finish line, just grabs the scooter and chucks it over the finish line.
Oh, gosh. I do apologize to our listeners on audio right now who are struggling to hear us through the race car. But just, just take in the race car noises. But he got you.
He did.
He got you.
Again. Yep. But going back to the UEFI.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. The nice thing is that, like I was saying, it's bringing...
I can hear again.
It is very clear right now.
What?
Let's not jinx it.
Anyway, UAEFI. It's not Haltech. It's not AEM. What is it?
It's open source, collectively done work by a group of people, and they release their idea. They release blueprints. They release their firmware, and then other people that have an interest, a passion, they go and build stuff, and it's built in the sense that people just want it to do what it needs to do. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need a call center behind it. It doesn't need to be expensive, and you get what you need. And I mean, obviously there's no tech support for this kind of stuff exactly, but if you know what you want, you figure it out, you learn, and you end up with a product that's similar, if not the same as all these other manufacturers are producing, without being stuck to a brand name.
Right.
Proprietary.
Right.
And it's really cool to see what it can do now. I mean, they basically can do just whatever anything else can do. And every time I mention it to someone, they're like, what are you talking about? That sounds sketchy. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And every time I put them on one, they're like, this runs amazing.
Well, yeah, and
only costs this much?
It runs practically as good as anything.
And it's like 10 times cheaper than a Haltech? Why did I?
Right, yeah, exactly. So I think that's great. And UAEFI, Ultra Affordable EFI.
Literally the name.
Yeah, if you type in UEFI, you'll get some computer stuff. And Google might even try to correct you. If you type in UAEFI and you look it up, you'll probably get a bunch of computer stuff, which is UEFI.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated terminology there. But that being said, we live in the golden age of tuning, I think.
It's just really cool to see people using their hobbies and this stuff becoming available to consumers on a point where they can just make whatever they want. You see people 3D printing cases, making their own PCBs, coming up with new ways to do the things that used to cost a lot of money.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that, it's incredible what we're able to do with it. I think, what would be fun, and I'm just thinking of this out loud on the air here. What if we got a Pikes Peak car? Pikes Peak car. You can tell I've had like 5 hours of sleep. Pikes Peak car running on UAEFI just to prove that, hey, this car could go up a mountain with like $120 ECU.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It would be really good marketing.
It would be great marketing. They're not even paying us to talk about it.
No.
They should be paying us to talk about it. You should be a rep for them. But no, really, Brian, you're doing some great stuff with tuning. I think grassroots tuning is really it. We're in a weird crux right now where simultaneously we have governments coming after car things, trying to regulate them harder.
And that's the other great thing is this stuff is being made from scratch at home. Like you can't regulate that unless you want to treat it like drugs or something. It's going to be really difficult and to see what they're able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So. I think this is really cool, and what we're in a golden age of that. Yes, we have governments coming for all sorts of car things. I talk about that on the show a lot. I get political on this show so long as it involves cars. Otherwise,
because we're passionate about cars.
We're passionate about cars, and if you're passionate about cars and you don't like what the government's doing in terms of coming after certain realms of car stuff, things that are exciting, things that are great, I mean, you got to get out there and you got to vote.
You got to vote Matt, 2028 president.
Yep. Vote for me and vote for Jim Miller too. He ran for mayor, by the way.
Oh,
he ran for mayor. So
I think you were telling me about him.
Yeah, and we're gonna get him back on the show here in just a minute. I know he's been eyeing the microphone here a little bit. So, but hey, Brian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's get you back on the show again sometime in the future to talk about your business as you're growing it. You've got some really great things going on, and
I'll bring the kid too.
Oh, yes, I think that's a great idea.
Really got to get him on.
Is he like doing wiring yet? Is he building ECUs and harnesses? If
teething's wiring, then yes.
Okay. Because what age do they start building wiring harnesses at?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out now.
Jim, you've had
telling them.
You've had a kid. What age do they start working on cars? What?
The first car I like this. My 3-year-old niece.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
Nothing I had when I was a kid survived, so.
Oh, man. Brian, thank you so much for joining me here on Automotive ADHD.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
Awesome. All right, you're tuned into the Hill Climb Fanfest live stream, or maybe you're listening to it on the podcast after the fact. Don't go anywhere right now. We are having so much fun out here, and we're going to wrap things up here in just a few minutes. Also, because I'm quite frankly, I'm running out of battery on all my stuff here. So we're going to have to wrap this live stream up fairly soon. I want to thank everybody for joining me here on the show. Of course, a big thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Huge thank you, tremendous thank you to Hemmings. Oh my goodness, Hemmings is just awesome. They do some great work. You got to check out Hemmings.com. Big thank you to Brandon for coming on the show. And for helping set up this incredible gig. They do some great work. Now, I'm losing the daylight a little bit, and I'm told I got, what do I have? I got 4% battery, so I'm going to keep you along for just a few minutes longer. I want to play one clip for you. I said we were going to hear from Jimmy Ford here. I had him on the show for 2 segments earlier in the week, and you can check out that interview because I know he's so busy during FanFest, being in the Fast 15 and all of that. It's really tough to get him during FanFest. So, but we have something really special I'm going to show you. This is a clip that I filmed up at the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, brought to you by Gran Turismo. Got to make sure to get that in there. And this is a clip I filmed with Jimmy on the practice day. Let's go ahead and run this right here. Stand by.
Yeah, today it was foggy in the morning, so we missed part of our runs in the morning. We kind of sat out and waited for the fog to clear up a little bit. Our first run, we got 2 runs today. Our first run, it was pretty slow going. There was still some patchy fog, but we waited for the right moment on our second run to lay a good run down, and we ended up running a 2:33, which is faster than I thought we would be able to go up here. Tomorrow is the top section. We're going to be on the top section, the bumpy section. So all the changes we've made, we'll see how well the changes have worked. Then Friday we'll be down at FanFest, and Saturday we will be hanging out, kind of trying to get the car ready to get loaded up on the hill. And then Sunday we're geared up for race day.
All right, hey, there we go. Really great stuff. Love what Jimmy Ford is doing. If you haven't checked him out yet, jimmyfordracing.com. Of course, you can check out my interview with Jimmy right here, right after this show, right after this podcast. If you haven't heard it, go into the podcast feed. It's going to be the one right after this. And then, of course, the one with Jim Miller, just a guy, wrapping up here on the show. Jim, I've got just a few minutes left. I'm not limited by time on the radio today, but I am limited by the battery, which is at about 4%. So we'll be toast in a couple of minutes.
Have to go, huh?
But what do you got, Jim?
Hey, look, it was a good fan fest. I haven't been to one in a long time. It was fantastic. It was great. You have a great sponsor here. You got Hemmings. By the way, if you get a chance, go on to Hemmings.com and look at the A86 they have on there for sale.
Yeah.
Go look at that A86. I know the rest of the A86 guys are going to be like, what? Wow.
Yeah. See, that's the great thing with Hemmings is we think of, classic cars as American classics, but all the tuner stuff now, I mean, Hemmings isn't just a place for you to find classics like this Mustang,
right?
But it is a place to find all sorts of great stuff. And for guys who like Toyotas like Jim and I, that's even better.
And I got to say, Jimmy Ford, the racing team looks pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited to see how he comes out with everything. Let's not forget about that as well.
Yeah, Jimmy's great, and he's got a really awesome team. The team is the family, by the way.
Yeah,
he
saw that. That's why I said it seems real exciting, real good, family-orientated type stuff. I'm real excited to see what happens.
Yep, I love it. And, of course, Pikes Peak is a place where competitors can compete with factory teams. You got a guy like Jimmy Ford. You've got Ethan Hunter over here. They are grassroots dudes. They started out. They got their families. And here's the crazy thing: they're competitive or even faster than
a lot of the sponsored stuff. That's the big boy sponsored stuff.
Yeah.
They come out and go, "You want some stuff? We're from the dirt. We're gonna come out and kick it.
Yep.
We're up here. They're ready to go." And Ethan, nice guy, great guy. Very, very fantastic.
Absolutely. I love it. So, hey, we're about to lose the battery. So, Jim, I'm going to get you back on the radio show here soon. We got some great stuff going on. Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition broadcast from the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb Fan Fest underneath the Hemmings.com footprint. Such a tremendous event. Thanks for joining us here. Remember to check out the radio show this weekend and subscribe to this show wherever fine shows. And, well, hey, this one are downloaded. I'll talk to you on the radio show next week.
Cars aren't a crime.